Hello and welcome. India's attention riveted at this moment on the progress of the rescue operations in the tunnel collapse in Uttarkashi. One of the critical links in the Char Dham project. Multiple probes currently on efforts to try and rescue the 41 workers who've been trapped. We've set up behind us to give our viewers a sense of the efforts that are currently being made to try and bring these 41 trapped workers out. There are two ends at which drilling work has started, at the Silkiara end and at the Barkot end. And what's happening is that they're attempting through different agencies. The Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam is attempting vertical drilling in one place. Not just this, apart from the Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam, other bodies too getting into the act and trying to ensure that they too can contribute. The National Highways Infrastructure Development Corporation is trying to drill in from the Silkiara end, which is where our correspondents are positioned. In a moment from now, I'll go across live to them and try and understand the progress that's been made. The good news, though, is that one pipe has been drilled in from which food supplies are now going. Earlier, they could only have dry fruit. Now, more food can be sent in less quantities, but food is being sent in. We've got on this broadcast experts, the local district magistrate, officials from the NDRF who are in charge of these rescue and relief operations. All of them will be joining us. We'll talk to family members of those who are trapped and even one person who's been in a similar situation for 9 days. All that and more coming up on tonight's edition of the NewsTrack.
41 laborers, over 200 hours, nine days, 5 teams, five rescue options. One tiny breakthrough. India's biggest rescue. The big focus on NewsTrack.
A massive rescue operation currently on all of India, hoping and praying that these 41 workers can be brought out. We'll get you the live updates. Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Glimmer of hope for 41 workers trapped in an Uttarkashi tunnel. A 6-inch lifeline pipe reaches the workers. They'll now be given solid food like fruits and khichdi. Civic apathy kills mother and daughter in Bengaluru. They were electrocuted to death by a live wire that was lying on the footpath. FIR registered. Ugly dog fight in Telangana before the elections. Chief Minister KCR calls Revant Reddy a barking dog. Reddy hits back, says father and son are mad dogs. New video released by Israel shows Hamas terrorists wheeling hostages into the Al-Shifa hospital. A 50-meter tunnel shaft is also uncovered at the hospital premises. Sacked by OpenAI, chatbot ChatGPT founder Sam Altman joins Microsoft. Satya Nadella announces Altman will be CEO of a new AI research team. "41 laborers are still trapped in a tunnel in Uttarkashi. But the first breakthrough came today. After over 215 hours, a 6-inch alternate pipe has now finally reached the workers. This pipe will be used to send solid food to the laborers. 2 DRDO robots have also been used to try and help with the rescue operation. Ashutosh Mishra with our lead story on the relief and rescue effort that's currently underway.
Nine days on, 41 trapped workers wait with bated breath to get out of the collapsed tunnel. After facing several setbacks, rescue teams in Uttarakhand are following yet another new plan to rescue the workers who were trapped after the tunnel caved in 9 days ago. Rescue workers are trying to drill a vertical hole now from the top of the mountain. This is in addition to the escape passage being created from the front of the tunnel in a horizontal direction.
अगर टनल बनता है जिसमें एक्सेस अप्रोच बनता है उसमें से एनडीआरएफ के लोग अंदर जा सकते हैं या उनको रोप की ज़रूरत है, कोई सपोर्ट की स्ट्रक्चर की ज़रूरत है तो लोग जाके अंदर से उनको फिजिकली भी ला सकते हैं। अगर कोई चलने में कोई दिक्कत हो रही तो हम स्ट्रक्चर में भी करके बारी से ला सकते हैं।
The Border Roads organization has created an access road for machines to reach the top of the hill, from where a pipe will now be drilled for the vertical hole.
हम ऑलरेडी देख रहे हैं कि आपकी मशीनें ऊपर तक पहुंच रही हैं। लॉजिस्टिकल चैलेंज कितना बड़ा और कितना समय लग सकता है?
बस अभी हमें थोड़े इंटरफेरेंस है, जो नीचे वाइब्रेशन आ रहा करके या पब्लिक की मूवमेंट है। अगर ये खाली हो गया तो हम 2-3 घंटे में पूरा वहाँ तक रोड बना के दे देंगे।
इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट्स भी आ गए हैं, उनका भी कुछ सुझाव हो रहा है इसको लेकर के?
रास्ते बनाने के लिए कोई सुझाव नहीं है, सिर्फ वो जहाँ पर ड्रिल करने है वो उसकी एफिकेसी कितना है, उसके क्या आफ्टर इफेक्ट क्या है।
तो क्या मान सकते हैं आज वहाँ तक पहुँच जाएगा रास्ता?
हाँ, रास्ता पहुँच जाएगा।
Authorities have roped in global experts to oversee and expedite relief operations.
We, as a full, coordinated international team, led by our local experts who are here, who are the experts, we are committed, and I've said it, I'll say it again, we are getting 41 men out of this tunnel and we're making sure no one else gets hurt in the process.
Okay.
That's the difficulty.
Please believe that this is one of the newest mountains, is very fragile in nature.
Very fragile. You don't have to be a professor, right? It's telling you what the problem is. So
we have seen
to do a deal, and we're going to do a deal with this mountain.
The rescue mission has suffered many hiccups so far, including a breakdown of drilling machines.
Every time the American auger machine reaches to certain hurdle, strong material, solid material, then there is sense of vibration, and to maintain that equilibrium, it requires cooling off period. Now, because of that, also there are debris falling inside the tunnel and also risking lives of those workers. These blocks are ensuring another parallel micro tunnel inside the tunnel, which will ensure the moment there is a vibration or a possibility of debris fall, the workers and the experts can immediately run to the safer side through these passage.
The operation was temporarily halted on Friday afternoon due to fears that more parts of the tunnel could cave in. Food and medicines are being supplied to the trapped workers through a pipe, and all 41 are said to be doing okay. With Ashutosh Mishra in Uttarkashi, Uttarakhand, Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, for those who are tracking this rescue operation very closely like me, I want to give you a 360-degree sense of the different levels at which effort is going on. I'm joined at this moment by Ashutosh Mishra. He's boots on the ground, has been reporting live from Uttarkashi from the day after this tunnel horror began. Also with us at this time is Lieutenant General Yogender Dimri, former General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Central Command. We have with us on this broadcast Abhishek Rohila, District Magistrate of Uttarkashi, the man supervising these operations. Remember, there is no telecom signal in that area in large parts where this rescue effort is taking place. So with a few of our guests tonight, I have already recorded their answers, so I'll play out what they told me just a little while earlier. We have Narendra Bundela, the Inspector General of the National Disaster Relief Force. Satish Tomar is a survivor. There was a similar collapse near Badrinath. He survived that. He was inside that tunnel for 9 days. Satish will be joining us as well. Let me go across to Ashutosh Mishra first from Uttarkashi. Ashutosh, you've tracked the progress, the ebbs and flows of this rescue mission. On the back of everyone you're speaking to, what's your best sense? How long will it be before we're able to bring the trapped workers out?
Well, Rahul, this is not going to be less than 72 hours because the auger machine, the horizontal drilling, which could be the fastest way right behind me in the tunnel, hasn't started functioning yet. And the reason is the fragile structure, the vibration, the equilibrium maintenance. And because of that, there have been debris falls several times. For last 48 hours, the machine hasn't worked well. There is a hope as there is an alternative lifeline, 6 inches diameter pipe has been sent in. And as we speak, food packets are being packed in a bottle, khichdi, dalia, bananas, light food material as advised by the medical experts are being packed, and shortly that will be sent inside the tunnel through the 57-meter long pipe. Vertical drilling is another challenge. Now reaching on the top of these mountains, in fact, I'll just get you the close images of the tunnel, what exactly happening inside. While the vertical drilling operations is another difficulty is looking at the terrain. Once you get all the machineries up, that makes another difficulty. So once the operational of the machine takes place, before that, the safety of already working these workers inside 200-meter tunnel is required. So the solidification, the arch are being strengthened, and there are concrete structures that is being made for another safe route. This is to ensure that those workers, experts are already working inside the tunnel. Their life is not compromised in case of there is another untoward. In fact, day before yesterday, there was also a light tremor. So in that case, this makes another challenging. Subsequently, the 900 millimeter pipe is already inserted nearly 24 meters, up to 24 meters. The another attempt is to insert another 800 mm pipe and go beyond 24 because there is a massive hurdle, a big block, stone, probably a rocks, that is not being able to penetrate because of the massive vibration. So multiple attempts, 6 plan formula is being worked out, but as experts saying, the fastest way could be the horizontal drilling, which is already happening. But for now, there is a plan being worked out to ensure smooth operation of these machines. Now we have, it could be delayed, there have been delayed indeed. Now all we have are backup machines, we have spare parts, there is another machine, multiple pipes, everything is that is required is now here on the site. But at least it will take another 24 hours to say that the auger machine will start its horizontal drilling because it has been a difficult terrain, fragile structure. So once that starts, that will give really a big hope. But for now, the only hope is that the food is going to be available to them, medicine is going to be available to them, everything those workers required will be made available to them by the administration, by the rescue agencies here, since there is another parallel pipe has been sent in.
Ashutosh Mishra, hang in there. We'll come back to you for more. It's a challenging assignment, not just for our reporter, but more importantly for those involved in the rescue operations, and most of all for those who are actually stuck in that 150-meter tunnel which is collapsed. So we'll get more updates from Ashutosh in a while. I want to go across to Abhishek Rohila. Abhishek Rohila is District Magistrate of Uttarkashi. He's joining us now on this broadcast. Abhishek, सबसे पहले ये बताएं कि इस वक्त ग्राउंड जीरो पे जो सिचुएशन है उसकी आपकी असेसमेंट क्या है अभिषेक?
जी, ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से ये रिपोर्ट है कि जब से ये घटना हुई है और घटना की सूचना मिलते ही जो ज़िला प्रशासन के संसाधन थे सभी को यहाँ मोबिलाइज़ किया गया और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे करके जैसे सिचुएशन के असेसमेंट करते हुए विभिन्न विशेषज्ञ यहाँ पर आए, उन्होंने भी सॉल्यूशंस निकालने की कोशिश की और साथ ही साथ कई एजेंसीज़ हैं आज के दिन जो एग्जीक्यूशन का कार्य कर रही हैं, उसमें सेंट्रल एजेंसीज़ हैं, PSUs हैं, वो सब इसमें कार्य में सहयोग कर रहे हैं और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन दिन रात लगातार बिना रुके चल रहा है।
इतना वक्त क्यों लग रहा है? इतना डिले क्यों हुआ इस रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में?
देखिए, जो ये सिचुएशन है ये कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, चुनौतीपूर्ण है और एग्जैक्ट जो होता क्या है कि जब मलबा गिरा है तो उसके अंदर क्या कंडीशन है, किस प्रकार का स्ट्रेटा है, आगे क्या ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस है, इसकी बहुत क्लैरिटी होती नहीं है और उसके लिए बहुत अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजीज़ चाहिए, अलग अलग उपकरण चाहिए जिनसे कार्यों को किया जाना है। और इसीलिए अभी वर्तमान में आज की अपडेट ये है कि अलग अलग जो विकल्प तय किए गए थे विभिन्न विशेषज्ञों द्वारा, उन सभी पे पैरेलली काम चल रहा है और हम होपफुल हैं कि जल्दी ही कुछ समय में या कुछ दिनों में हम इसमें ब्रेक थ्रू पाएंगे।
तो जो वर्कर्स हैं जो फंसे हुए हैं उनकी मेंटल कंडीशन क्या है, फिजिकल कंडीशन क्या है? आप एक तरीके से इंचार्ज हैं क्योंकि आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट हैं, आपको क्या रिपोर्ट्स मिल रही है ट्रैप वर्कर्स के बारे में?
जी, जो 41 श्रमिक हैं जो कार्मिक अंदर फंसे हैं, उनसे लगातार संपर्क में रहा जाता है और जो NHIDCL के स्टाफ हैं वो उनको फीड कराने के लिए जो सारी व्यवस्थाएं हैं प्रशासन से सहयोग लेकर वो सब करते हैं। और साथ ही साथ विभिन्न राज्यों ने अपने नोडल ऑफिसर्स भी यहाँ लगाए हैं और जो श्रमिक हैं उनके परिजन भी यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं। उन लोगों से भी, उन परिवारजनों से भी उनकी बात कराई जाती है स्थानीय भाषा में उनके ही तरीके से, तो उससे उनको एक मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ मिलती है। और जो हमारी हेल्थ टीम्स हैं जो यहाँ राउंड द क्लॉक डिप्लॉयड हैं, वो भी और दोनों एक शेड्यूल के हिसाब से भी उनसे बात करती हैं और नीड बेसिस पे भी, यानी SOS बेसिस पे भी, अगर किसी की कोई तबीयत ख़राब होने का पता लगता है, कोई ऐसी स्थिति पता लगती है या कोई लगता है कि चिकित्सकीय परामर्श की आवश्यकता है, तो वो लोग भी लगातार बात करते हैं। और सभी से फीडबैक लिया गया है और उनका कहना है कि अंदर सभी की स्थिति ठीक है और उनको एक भरोसा दिलाया जा रहा है कि वो जल्दी ही उनको निकाल लिया जाएगा। और इस समय हम सबको अंदर भी बाहर भी एक थोड़ा धैर्य दिखाने की आवश्यकता है।
इस टनल कोलैप्स का दोषी कौन है? आपके हिसाब से उत्तरकाशी का विलन कौन है?
देखिए, ब्लेम गेम में अभी प्रशासन इस काम में नहीं है। हमारा फोकस है उनके रेस्क्यू वर्क पे और हमारी प्राथमिकता यही है कि उनको जल्दी निकाला जाए, सुरक्षित निकाला जाए। और राज्य सरकार और उत्तराखंड के जो हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी हैं, जिला प्रशासन है, पूरी मशीनरी भारत सरकार के सभी एजेंसीज़ को कोऑपरेट कर रहा है, NHIDCL को कोऑपरेट कर रहा है। और जो भी हमसे आवश्यक सहयोग की अपेक्षा की जाती है या जो हमारे से हो सकता है, हम सारे संसाधन इसी काम के लिए डिप्लॉय कर रहे हैं।
अभिषेक, आपके हिसाब से कितना और वक्त लगेगा इन वर्कर्स को बाहर निकालने से पहले? हाउ लॉन्ग इज इट लाइकली टू टेक?
देखिए, अभी इसका एक डेफिनेट आइडिया या निर्धारित समय सीमा मेरे स्तर से दिया जाना संभव नहीं है, क्योंकि इसमें काफ़ी टेक्निकलिटीज़ इन्वॉल्व हैं एंड वी आर वर्किंग ऑन डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस। तो जो भी ऑप्शन पहले सफल हो जाएगा उसी से फिर हमें ये ऑपरेशन कंप्लीट करने में मदद मिलेगी।
Abhishek Rohila, District Magistrate of Uttarkashi, thank you very much for joining us. And now I want to go across to Satish Tomar. Now, Satish Tomar is a survivor of the Bilaspur tunnel collapse. This happened in 2015. He was stuck inside a tunnel for more than 9 days. He's joining us now on this broadcast. And it's very important because he's actually been in a similar situation as these workers and should be able to share some sense of what it's like being stuck in that claustrophobic space. सतीश जी, स्वागत है आपका। 41 लोग इस वक्त फंसे हुए हैं उत्तरकाशी में। आप भी इसी तरीके से बिलासपुर में फंसे रहे थे 9 दिन के लिए। काफ़ी उस टाइम पे पूरा जो आप लोगों की सिचुएशन थी वो चर्चा में आई थी। आपने कैसे अपने आप को मोटिवेट किया? क्या चल रहा था उन घंटों में जब आप फंसे हुए थे? टनल रेस्क्यू जब चल रहा था बाहर से और आप टनल के अंदर फंसे हुए थे।
भाई लोगों के लिए मेरे को कहना पड़ेगा, जो कि आप बोल रहे हैं वहां पर 41 जो आदमी फंसे हुए हैं, तो उनके लिए मैं गॉड से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि भगवान उनको भी हमारी तरह से सलामत बाहर निकाले। और हमने भी सर ऐसे दिन काटे हैं, हमारे को ही पता है कि ये कितनी मुश्किल घड़ी है, लेकिन अगर इस घड़ी को आदमी झेल गया तो समझो आगे शायद भगवान कोई मुसीबत नहीं आने देगा आपके ऊपर।
थोड़ा ये बताएं कि मेंटल मेकअप, दिमागी तौर पे क्या चल रहा था उस टाइम पे जब आप एक काले टनल में फंसे हुए हैं, कोई लाइट नहीं, कोई रोशनी नहीं, वहाँ पे आपको कुछ दिख नहीं रहा, आपको मालूम नहीं कि बचोगे नहीं बचोगे, कोई निकाल पाएगा नहीं निकाल पाएगा। क्या क्या चल रहा था आपके दिमाग में उस वक्त? कैसे आपने अपना हौसला बनाए रखा?
सर 9-10 दिन हम बाहर निकले, अब 9 दिन तक अंदर ही रहे फंसे हुए, तो दिमाग में तो ऐसे इसमें एक से एक उल्टे ख्याल भी आते हैं कि नहीं अब मुश्किल है जीना, अब शायद इतना दिन हो गया तो हमारे को निकाल पाना मुश्किल है। लेकिन सर एग्जैक्ट अगर हिम्मत रखे तो चाहे आदमी को मेन ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत होती है और भोजन की जरूरत होती है और पानी की जरूरत होती है, तो अगर वो मिलता रहे तो आदमी को चाहे 6 महीना या साल भर काटना पड़े कोई दिक्कत नहीं। थोड़ा दिक्कत तो होगा ही, क्योंकि एक जगह बैठे रहना, अंधेरा होगा, वहाँ अंधेरे में न कुछ ना दिखाई देना, ना किसी कोई बाहर का नजरिया देख पाना, तो मुश्किल तो होता ही है, लेकिन मुश्किल का सामना करके ही मंजिल को हासिल किया जाता है। और हमने भी मुश्किलों का सामना किया है और आज हम अपने मुकाम पर हासिल है, मतलब अपने
मैं
मुकाम
उस टाइम
हासिल
की
किया।
मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ रहा था जिसमें लिखा गया था कि जब रेस्क्यू की टनल नहीं बनी थी शुरू में, आप लोग वहाँ पे सर्वाइव करने के लिए अखबार, न्यूज़पेपर खा रहे थे, उससे आप कुछ वक्त जिंदा रहे। उसके बारे में बताएं, सबसे मुश्किल घड़ी जब कोई भरोसा नहीं, कोई उम्मीद नहीं, उस टाइम पे क्या क्या चल रहा था उस टनल के अंदर जहाँ पे आप 3 लोग फंसे हुए थे? उनमें से 2 को अल्टीमेटली रेस्क्यू किया गया, लेकिन ऐसे टाइम पे जब आपको अखबार खाने पड़ रहे थे, स्थिति बहुत ख़राब थी, उस टाइम के बारे में बताएं।
जो कि आदमी के अंदर शरीर की एनर्जी होती है, वो तो काफी दिन तक आदमी के अंदर रहता है। ये मान के चलो कि अगर आप खाना नहीं मिलेगा तो मैक्सिमम 1 महीना तक आदमी कहीं नहीं जाता है, बगैर खाए पिए रह सकता है। हालांकि एनर्जी खत्म हो जाएगा, शरीर का चलना फिरना मुश्किल हो जाएगा, लेकिन अगर हिम्मत रखोगे तो 1 महीना कुछ नहीं होता है। अगर खाना मिलता रहे और पानी ऑक्सीजन प्रॉपर मिलती रहे तो चाहे 1 साल काटना पड़े और चाहे 6 महीना काटना पड़े, चाहे 1 महीना काटना पड़े। और मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा गवर्नमेंट से भी कि जल्दी से जल्दी हमारे भाई लोगों को बाहर निकालें, कोशिश करें बाहर निकालने की, और क्या नाम, उन्हें हिम्मत दे। और सबसे पहले ऑक्सीजन खाने की व्यवस्था उनको मतलब ऑक्सीजन खाने की पहुंचाने की व्यवस्था की जाए। ऑक्सीजन प्रॉपर रहेगी तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, खाना जाता रहेगा तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। दिक्कतें तो सर बहुत आती, हमने भी ये मुसीबतें बहुत झेली और हम यही दुआ करते हैं कि चलो भाई लोगों के साथ हो गया है। हम प्रार्थना करें उनके लिए भी, भगवान उनको सेफ रखें और जल्दी से जल्दी बाहर निकालें। और
नहीं, ये बताएं कि
जो
फैमिली वालों का क्या चल रहा था जब आप फंसे हुए थे? आपके परिवार वाले क्या सोच रहे थे? उन्होंने कैसे अपना हौसला बनाए रखा? आप चूंकि सिमिलर सिचुएशन में रह चुके हैं, जो दर्शक देख रहे हैं और जो फैमिलीज हैं जिनके नियर एंड डियर वंस उस टनल के अंदर फंसे हुए, उन्हें आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, मैं उनके लिए कहना चाहता हूं कि सबसे ज्यादा हौसला तो जो मेरे साथी भाई लोग जो अंदर फंसे हुए हैं, सबसे ज्यादा हौसला तो उनको रखना पड़ेगा और उनसे भी ज्यादा हौसला उनके परिवार वालों को रखना पड़ेगा। अगर हिम्मत रखोगे तभी मंजिल मिलता है, अगर हिम्मत हार जाओगे, अगर परिवार वाले बाहर से ही हिम्मत हार जाएंगे तो अंदर फंसे लोग तो पहले ही अधमरे से हो चुके हैं बेचारे। क्योंकि हौसला अंदर कितना भी आदमी हौसले वाला हो, अंदर हौसला टूटता ही रहता है दिन पर दिन। लेकिन अगर परिवार वाले हौसला रखेंगे तो उनकी वजह से उनको भी हौसला मिलेगा और इससे उनको मतलब कठिनाइयों का सामना करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन आसानी से कर पाएंगे। अगर परिवार वाले उनको हौसला देंगे कि कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हम आपके लिए बैठे हैं, और तो उनको काफी हौसला मिलेगा उनसे।
Okay, Satish Tomar, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your thoughts. That's the survivor of the Bilaspur tunnel collapse. 3 people got stuck, 2 of them were pulled out, 1 couldn't come out at that time, and we just heard from one of those who survived that. I'm joined by Lieutenant General Yogendra Dimri, former General Officer Commanding in Chief of the Central Command. Anjal Prakash joins us, Research Director at the Bharati Institute of Public Policy, understands the lay of the land, understands the soil involved. Anjal Prakash, I want to come to you first. Give our viewers a sense of the topography. I was seeing that international expert who's on the ground talk about how the soil is very loose and why that makes it so difficult to be able to mount this kind of a rescue operation.
See, Rahul, you must understand that the Himalayan, mountain systems are one of the youngest in the world. It is one of the most fragile, as much as we know, if you compare with other mountains of the world. And that means that we have to really, whatever we are doing in this situation, we must take ultimate care of the construction process that we have. And that's the major reason why, and it's not only about the eastern, western Himalayan, all across Himalayan regions, this we must have to understand that these are systems which are very, very, very fragile, and that means that construction process must take care of certain peculiarities of the region that we have. That's number one. Number two, I would like to also put forward here is the kind of mindless development which is happening. I think this is a larger issue. We can come back to this, but it is a very, very mindless development that we are seeing in the Himalayan region, which is creating havoc after havoc, and that is creating problem for all of us who are concerned about the region.
Okay, General Dimri, you were an engineer first and foremost, and from an engineering perspective, explain the various rescue efforts which are being attempted, from both ends of the tunnel. I'll want our producers to play that animation out once again, and then the General can explain from an engineering perspective how this is likely to work out. So you've got an operation happening from both ends of the tunnel, you've got an operation happening from the top, and you've got a horizontal operation happening as well. So which of these is most likely to succeed? If you were helming this operation at this moment, what would you be most concerned about? General Dimri.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. So firstly, soldier first, sapper next. Right? Okay, having said that, I think just about every option that we could have been thinking of is being met. That's the good part. That we got a 6-inch pipe through today has only lent much more credibility to the effort and raised our hopes as well. Now, when you look at this tunnel, it's a 4.5 kilometer tunnel that's planned. You got a 2.5 kilometer that's been drilled from one side, that's the Silkyara side, and from the Barkot side, we come in 1.5 kilometer, and there's about a 480 meter patch in between. Now, 250 meters from the Silkyara side is where this collapse of the landslide is happening. So our friends, the 40 workers trapped inside, are essentially a 2 kilometer stretch. That's where they are. The good part is that we were able to establish contact very early. And now the hopes of survival increase as we push them one pipe through. What are our options? Well, the first option, obviously, that comes to mind is you drill through the landslide. Anybody's guess. In military parlance, are you reinforcing failure? But that's where it was weak, and that's where it came down. But then, on the other side, are you exploiting opportunity? Because whatever had to come down has come down. In fact, if you ask a sapper, the most or the safest place to enter a minefield is the place where a blast is already at. So that's there. So we do have chances of getting through the 60-meter patch. Unfortunately, 28 meters down, we blocked 2 days ago. We started again. That's one. What are the other options? Come from the top. That's close. And we're attempting this at 2 places. Yes. And anybody guess how much time it's going to take from there? Right. The third option is to come from the Barkot side, but then you got to drill 480 meters. That's going to take a long time. Well, there's yet another option, come from a side, and that's also being thought of, and things are being planned on that. So I don't think we've left any option that we're not going to try out. Earlier you asked a question, how much time? I don't think we should lay a time limit to this. If you go by the first option from the frontal option, well, yes, 72 hours, as somebody said, could be a little more. But then in such situations, and well, got enough experience of these kind of things, I think we need to be prepared for the long run. What if one doesn't? We're going to take perhaps more time, a week, 10 days, 15 days. So yes, you've got to be patient, you've got to be resilient, and most important part is you've got to be in contact with the people inside who are doing and making better and better efforts. In fact, after the 6-inch pipe, we perhaps we're going to be going in for much more, right? And get the survival. You've got to take out it. In such a situation, in such disaster, you've got to check this. Well, firstly, are the survival needs being met? Well, yes, they've been done. Number two, have the experts been called? Yes, the medical experts, the physical, psychological, they're there. Have the geologists, or more specifically the engineering geologists, been recognized? I'm told they're around. They're drilling experts, they're there. Tunneling experts, yes, they're there. Have the equipment been brought? This is how we do it. yes, the equipment is
No, but
stretching.
can I ask you this
Some of
question, General Dimri, about
Yes, you.
just the soil? You know, we saw how loose the soil there was. Now, I'm the furthest thing from being an engineer, but what I'm imagining in my head is, you've got these drilling machines going in, there's soil, you could potentially create, a situation where the soil falls and you have either a small or big collapse further where more soil is getting into the area where the tunnel is. So how much of a danger is that?
Well, yes, one could imagine a situation like that, but yes, I would say leave it to the experts. They know their job. When they go in, they just don't go drilling in. When they go in, they put some shots and supports for whatever part they drill. It's only then they go in further, put more supports. Where the things are weak, they put in additional supports, and that's how drilling is done, right? So I don't think we should question the judgment of the experts who are doing this particular drilling. So they're going to do a good job of it, and they're going to put whatever support systems are required. And we saw some of those in your clips that you were showing. They were being moved in there, right? So I don't see much of a danger that side. But yes.
Is it a good idea to be building these tunnels? You know, the geologists made this point about just the kind of construction that's taking place in Uttarkashi because of the Char Dham Yatra and in that general area, and the risks given the newness of these mountains, the looseness of the soil. It's happened now in the Silkyara area, but this could happen again at any time, not because of anything wrong with the way the construction is being done, but just because of the nature of the soil over there.
Well, yes, it could. We know the Himalayan geology is fragile, and but that shouldn't be stopping us from doing what we need to. We need these kind of connectivities that we're going in for. These Char Dham routes are the exact kind of things that we need. Remember, this is a border state. And you desperately need these kind of connectivities, and tunnels perhaps could provide good answers, because more than just connectivities, they do so much more, right? But that's a separate discussion altogether. So what I'd like to say is that, yes, at the moment, avoid any overcrowding on sites, avoid overhype on this. Let the experts do their job. They know their job and they're doing it, and we got them in good capacities and good numbers in India, right? And lastly, be patient, be resilient. We wish everybody a very safe and early exit. Come out in 2-3 days if it has to be, but be prepared for the long haul. Remain resilient. That's my message.
Anjal Prakash, on the question of whether adequate precautions are being taken to ensure that such a thing doesn't happen again, given what you said about the looseness of the soil, how concerned are you that not just are we dealing with this situation again, we are potentially, because of the sheer scale of construction that we're doing, we are creating a situation where this could happen at any time again?
Exactly. And this is how I differ from Yogendraji here, that these are mindless construction which is happening, and I'm not sure how much of that is necessary at this time when we understand the ecology very well. We know that these are one of the...
No, but he also said, Anjal, that these are border areas. Char Dham is, of course, the religious aspect. China has done so much construction on their side. I've traveled in some of these spots. It takes us 6 to 8 days to travel to some of our border areas. Surely we need proper roads over there to be able to move our forces. And China is a very hostile enemy.
Rahul, I understand the security regions. At the same time, other construction, I have done field work in these areas, and I have had the experience when I have reached a place after 3 days of travel, and suddenly there was a pregnant woman who had developed some complications. She had to be lifted out. Took her another 3 days to come back to the nearest PHC or where she can get treatment. So I'm not against development. I think the basic education, basic road facilities needs to be there. But my point is slightly larger. What I'm saying, Rahul, is that these are systems which are very, very fragile, and whatever construction you're doing, you must take at most, adherence to the what would I say, the norms that we have. And I don't see, and this is, how many measures do we need to say that we must take some more drastic actions?
No, so that's an important point. A matter also which needs to be debated and discussed at length. Right now, our attention is squarely focused on these 41 workers who are trapped inside the tunnel. And I'm joined at this moment by a special guest. Arnold Dix is the president of the International Tunneling and Underground Space Association. He's the man you saw in our report who was showing the looseness of the soil. He was at ground zero in the morning, looking at different approaches from both sides of the tunnel, the horizontal approach, the vertical approach. So Mr. Dix, thank you. First and foremost, on behalf of everyone who's tracking the story, thank you for making the effort of coming down to India and trying to play your role in this rescue operation. As somebody who's seen such tunnel collapses internationally and specializes in this area, what's your assessment at this moment of the rescue operations, where they stand and what more needs to be done? Mr. Dix, welcome.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. I've been on site now for 24 hours and I am very impressed with what I've seen. These conditions, as you know, you well know, are the most extreme conditions on the planet. The Himalayan mountains are quite dynamic. And as you know, we know that with the effects of climate change and the change in storm frequencies, these road linkages which are being put through these parts of your country are so critical, because what we're seeing is that the change to the nature of storms and frequencies, what have you, is really disrupting even existing roads. So I really commend you on what you're doing with your roads. If I can just turn to the emergency. This emergency is really serious, and obviously that's why I've come. Literally a phone call, and I was here as quickly as I could. Behind me, although you can't see it, I've got the International Tunnelling Association, 80 member nations. All of those nations have given their support to me. I've got a team of about 60 subject matter experts behind. We're busy doing whatever we can to assist the team here. And the team here is awesome. The team here understand the mountain is better than anyone else on earth. And I have been shocked in a really positive way about the way the local state, the federal administration, the army, everyone just working together. And you're going to see over the next few days a real consolidation of what we've been busy planning. And together we've got some I think, terrific news for you very shortly. And today, for example, we've got another one of these lifeline tunnels has actually been successfully put in. So we've got 2 ways to get air, food, medicine, everything in. That gives us a big sigh of relief. And, we're looking forward to great progress moving forward.
Okay, Arnold Dix, now there are efforts to try and reach these workers from both sides of the tunnel. There are efforts from 2 places on top, and there's an effort to come in from the side. Now explain to our audiences in layman terms which of those is most likely to succeed and why, and the advantages and disadvantages in the different approaches which are currently being deployed.
So I'm not sure if there's been an announcement about which methods are being deployed. I think that's being announced tomorrow. And if you tell me there's been an announcement, then I can talk to them. But if there hasn't been an announcement, it would be wrong.
No, so we've actually got details about who's coming in from where. I have those details out on our screen right now. The Border Road Organization drilling in from the top. There's a vertical drilling being planned. We have details of the Satluj folks coming in from the side. So all those details are now being put out with the bodies that are involved, giving details about where they are coming in from. So what I'm trying to understand from you is, just looking at it situationally, what are the challenges in each of those approaches, and which one do you think is most likely to succeed and why?
So if I can just talk to you about then generally the different approaches and why that you've got them there. And this is on the basis that what you've just asked me is public knowledge and has been released. So I'm trusting you. I'm standing here with a mountain behind me. I've got no idea what's happening. There's very poor communications here. So on the basis what you're telling me is true, this is how I see it. For the rescue mission within the tunnel in the area that's collapsed, it's the most likely to occur quickly, but it also has a number of complications and dangers, because what we've seen is that the tunnel has already collapsed. So on the one hand, it might be quick, but on the other hand, it poses some dangers because the mountain has already told us that it's not happy. The mountain has already collapsed in that area. So it's potentially quickest, but it's also risky because it's an area that's already unstable. And then if we say go to above the mountain. So today I went to the top of the mountain and I looked at the rocks there. the rocks there were fantastic. So for your viewers, it was as if there was a gift from nature in the rocks, because exactly above the tunnel, exactly where the discussion is to do the vertical drill, is this beautiful piece of rock perfectly suited to do this task. Not anywhere else. It's like it's put there especially for the task. And so I thought this was an amazing thing. So the difficulty there is we have to drill down through a mountain and we have to exactly aim to hit the tunnel. But we're more than very high above the tunnel. So if we get even out by 1 degree, the vertical shaft might miss. So the challenge there is we have to be very accurate, and also it takes a fair bit of time. And then coming in from the side, which is another possibility, that is to come from the side of the mountain in, that's also possible. But the technology that we use for doing that is slow. So that also takes quite a lot of time. And we'll be going through ground that we haven't excavated through before. So that would be from the side. And then coming from the other end of the tunnel, all the way back around the other side, that's very sure, because that's actually along the alignment that's been studied. And so we'd have a high degree of confidence in that, but that would take an even longer period of time. So all of these different options, they have a balancing of risk, and they also have a question of time. And one of the things that I'm passionate about, and I know the whole team are as well, we're going to rescue 41. We're going to rescue 41 men. We don't want to hurt anyone else in the process. So that's our challenge right now. And as I say, today has been a good day. Yep. Ask away.
Arnold Dix, when you say that the rock is fantastic, and you say it with a lot of passion, what exactly do you mean? Because just in the way, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a geologist, in the way that I visualize it, a rock could be a certain size. How do you know, like let's imagine you're coming in from the top, that the rock extends all the way down. It could be a fantastic rock in the way you're describing it for a certain amount of distance, and then beyond that could be loose earth.
Yeah, so in your mountains, in your Himalayas, they've been squashed and twisted. So imagine once upon a time they were flat, and now they're all squashed and twisted. So just by some miracle, exactly above the tunnel, exactly on the top of the mountain where the tunnel is underneath, exactly at that point, some rock has ended up flat and very hard rock sitting there so that we can drill from that point down into the tunnel. This hard rock is nowhere else. It's sitting there. It's been twisted up and it's been put there in exactly the right location. And it's hard rock, like concrete hard rock. Whereas all the other rock that I've been touching at the mountain, and I go in and I touch it and I check it, because that's what geologists do, it's very soft. This is why it fell down. But this rock at the top of the mountain, exactly in the correct spot above the tunnel, it's perfect for this job. It's perfect to build the machine to drill down to rescue the men.
You said that this will take time. It's not going to be a fast rescue. When you say it's going to take time, what do you have in mind? How many hours, days, or could it even be weeks?
I was in New Zealand for Diwali when it began. And so I danced in New Zealand for Diwali. And my understanding is these men would have been dancing for Diwali when they went in for work. I'm confident that they'll be singing Christmas carols for Christmas. What I'm not sure is exactly where between Diwali and Christmas they'll be joining us back here. That I really don't know. It could be in a few days, it could be in a few weeks, but it will be before Christmas. So we've got two celebrations there, Diwali, Christmas, somewhere in the middle.
Arnold Dix, I thank you for taking out time and joining us in the middle of everything that you're doing. Really appreciate this. And you do bring an international exposure and lens to this rescue operation, being able to compare with what's happened internationally. So hopefully you can add that value to the teams on the ground who, as you said, are doing a terrific job and understand the mountain. So we wish you and your teams all the best. Arnold Dix.
Thank you. The whole world is here. Can I just say, the whole world is here on India's side to get these 41 men out. We're all here. All my countries, all the people from every country, and I actually mean every country's experts are helping us here. Everyone, because this is what good people do. We help each other in a time like this, And these are good men doing great work, and we're going to help them and we're going to get them home.
God willing, it will happen much before Christmas. Thank you very much, Arnold Dix, for joining us. We appreciate your time. Thank you for your effort, and thank you for joining us. So that's the head of the International Tunneling Association giving us an international comparison about rescue operations internationally and how this compares. We're slipping into a break right now. When we come back, a new video released by Israel shows Hamas terrorists bringing hostages into the Al-Shifa hospital. A 50-meter tunnel shaft is also uncovered at the hospital premises. Details on the other side.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Scan the QR code now.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
Air quality today. In Delhi, 338. In Mumbai, 81. In Kolkata, 87. In Bangalore, 40. In Chennai, 22. In Hyderabad, 72.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The horrors of Hamas continue to unravel. The Israel Defense Forces have now released videos that show hostages being taken into Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital. Israel has maintained that Al-Shifa, which was one of the largest hospitals in Gaza, is being used as a command and control center by the Hamas.
More videos released by the Israeli Defense Forces. Tel Aviv claims that the footage from Al-Shifa hospital shows hostages were brought to Gaza's largest health facility after the deadly October 7th terror attack.
We've also gathered more intelligence from the hospital, proving that Noah Marziano was not the only hostage taken by Hamas into Shifa hospital. I will now share concrete evidence of hostages. One from Nepal, one from Thailand, taken from Israel during the Hamas massacre on October 7th.
The video, according to the IDF, proves that Hamas terrorists are using hospitals to carry out terror attacks against Israel. The IDF has released another video of what it describes as a 55-meter-long tunnel dug by Hamas under the Al-Shifa hospital. Israel had earlier shared video of weapons and ammunition kept along with the MRI machines in medical rooms and storage spaces in Al-Shifa hospital. Hamas denies using hospitals or schools for its operations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated that Israel's goal is to finish Hamas, and that is the only way to achieve peace.
My goal is that the day after we destroy Hamas, any future civil administration in Gaza does not deny the massacre, does not educate its children to become terrorists, does not pay for terrorists, and does not tell its children that their ultimate goal in life is to see the destruction and dissolution of the state of Israel. That's not acceptable.
The Gaza death toll, according to Hamas, has crossed 13,000. Israel has so far rejected calls for a ceasefire. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the NewsTrack tonight. We will keep tracking the rescue efforts in Uttarkashi. Our reporters are on the ground. We're speaking to national and international experts to get a sense of how these rescue operations are going. We'll keep getting you every update from Ground Zero. Thank you for tuning in. Rajdeep Sardesai comes up next.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
I see the support you have here in Kamareddy. Are you confident of a win?
Yeah, definitely.
By how many votes, sir?
Congress workers are going to win Kamareddy constituency.
By how many votes will you win against KCR?
45,000 majority.
The advantage of KCR is this is his hometown, native, ancestral village. What's your advantage, sir?
He had cheated last 10 years with these people. So now they wanted to take revenge against KCR. So they are going to defeat KCR.
You have been campaigning across Telangana. Why did you choose Kamareddy? Is it only because of KCR?
So my high command suggestion, my high command told me that to contest from Kamareddy to defeat KCR. So high command has given suggestion and high command given orders to contest from Kamareddy. That is why I am contesting from Kamareddy.
Are you campaigning a lot more in Kamareddy than other constituencies?
It is equal to 119 constituencies I have to win. I am president of the Congress. So every constituency is equal to me. Among one of the constituencies, Kamareddy. So I have my priorities equal. So I am going to tour entire Telangana.
Are you underestimating Mr. KCR in Kamareddy?
So you are underestimating Kamareddy youth and women. They have defeated long back Srimati Indiraji. They have defeated NTR in Telangana. So this is the great situation in India. So people, if they decided to defeat anyone, they can defeat. So this election, KCR is going to lose this election.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
So how do you see the recent statement by Amit Shah on getting a uniform civil code here, and also UP government on halal row, because halal was a topic that was into controversy?
They have Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi and the BJP are losing extremely badly here in Telangana. They know that they cannot win in the southern states. In Karnataka, गली में फिराए दोनों को, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. Even in Telangana, BJP is nowhere it's a two-way fight between the Congress and the BRS. Since they have no issues to capture on, since they have no issues to ride on, they are bringing the same narrative that they think will work, that works in UP or Bihar or Madhya Pradesh. Unfortunately, it does not ring a bell here. And BRS and BJP are together in this. So if an MP of the BRS party is involved in the liquor scam, how come no IT-ED raids on the rest of the family? How come only IT-ED raids only on Congress people? See, they're all in it together.
Everybody in politics have got their own ways to look after. But I would like to say that KCR now is a defeated force, and people of Telangana have decided to reject KCR because of his corruption, because of his nepotism, because of his family rule, because of his bad governance, and because of his pseudo-secularism. There is a reaction against BRS, against KCR, against KTR and the clan. And people know how Congress has betrayed the people of Karnataka by false guarantees. So now people have also seen the development taking place throughout the country under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Modi. BJP will win Telangana, and certainly, as we said, last time we lost, but that didn't have the same implication in 2019 elections. So every election is different, but here we are winning Vidhan Sabha also and Lok Sabha also.
As the narrative of democracy comes full circle in the state of Rajasthan, where the people become the powerful and the powerful at the will of the people. Will history repeat itself, or will the people of the state script a new chapter? सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा क्या है? एमएलए का चुनाव ये ज्यादा भारी पड़ रहा है। सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा विकास का है, पर आपके यहाँ पे ना रोड है ना कुछ है।
Presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय, जॉय ई-बाइक।
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series. Stay wild at heart.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-powered by the bold look of Kohler.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the